We're gonna amend something today. Hey, we covered something recently, and we probably need to like go and look at someone's update on the thing that's been levied against them. I was hanging out in this man's chat this morning because he was on before I had to go to work. And I was like, oh, hello. It is 6 in the morning. That's nifty. Anyways, he tried to not raid Premiere people into this after, and he said it's his one time he's gonna address this. I'm rooting for the man in that I hope he doesn't like get we have these here for a reason. Someone was stating it was a Gish Gallop. I think it's more like a Mott and Bailey. I think these things that are being levied by Mr. Hasanabi at occasion, Mr. Piker, are occasionally a little bit like a Mott. And am I doing this wrong again? Oh gosh, did I just invert these? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. So, blah. He'll have like a core value that is strongly held and understandable, and that's a Mott. And then he'll do all this fucking like bullshit, aggress you, attacky, accuse people of sex crimes without fucking merit shit on the periphery. And some folks, when they attack this periphery, he treats it as an attack on his core values. And that goes very poorly when you have 30,000 subs and you're crashing out on main. So, you know. Take it from a one viewer, Andy. I know. I've humbled forced into my blood. Like a squid. Humbled squid. Be humble. Anyways.
Alex Novell is a liar like Johnny Somali.
We're watching this on stream together because I need to amend something. We covered it in brief, but let's just dig.
Today, we're going to address some insidious, malicious defamation that has been brought against me by one Alex Novell in cooperation with the Somali.
I had it playing while I was waiting for other stuff, so because he put it out at a time where I was able to like watch it, I was able to like watch it while kind of just being noisy in the chat and making new friends who might want to play Mycopunk together if we're lucky. But we have no way to talk to each other outside of the chat, so whatever.
Discord, and we are going to totally destroy these allegations with facts and objectivity, as we always do on the Legal Mindset.
So what are we going to do? We're going to be very patient and analytical. We're going to remember two things, right? Though we wish to see everyone do well, and if this is an untruth being levied against a person, they ought to be able to have some peace in their life, and it's going to be hard for everyone to give up, even if it is bullshit, and that's got to be fine. There's nothing else you can really do. People are going to think things. You can only be bitchy if they start perpetuating things in a very harmful way.
We let you be your own judge. And this is the type of episode that I would normally not do.
And welcome to the next episode. Do y'all remember the old Drave track?
This is the
next episode. Do y'all remember that shit?
A thing that I would normally not get into. And of course, I do have a PowerPoint here today. But because
he got teased for bringing some people teased him in advance saying he's going to do it. I think it was Johnny Somali was saying he's going to do his little PowerPoint. Point being, the man did. Like, a thing that Leaping Lemur did that I really admire is someone popped off in this man's comments saying he didn't deserve a premiere because he's too small. And that bro got little broed real quick because Lemur popped off a lot more, kept doing premieres. They're doing fucking well, by the way. Just the first one didn't hit that hard. Homie still makes good content. Leaping Lemur, shout the fuck out, bro.
These accusations, because these things have been mentioned, have been so malicious. These are beyond routine, and because they've spread around enough that enough people have seen them, that there needs to be a direct and clear rejection, a direct and clear rebuttal of all these things. It rises above the normal level, which I would ignore, which is typically my policy with most defamation. Because
okay, when I heard this part, I was very happy because my biggest concern is this man was about to get in a tit for tat like piss war, and it's not like at the end of this you'll tell me if you think it's still going to be lined up for a tit for tat piss war, because I have the kind of feeling like it might be still lining up for something, but I don't know what that something is right now, and I'm hoping to watch it this time and get more context for what I think it is. I'm gonna make it go a little faster. Vroom vroom, motherfucker.
as a figure on the internet, you need to accept the fact that people are going to say bad things about you. And people say bad and untrue things about me all the time. And routinely, I do ignore those. However, this one is malicious.
Sometimes people do just be living in their imagination and they make up some shit and they believe it. Like that is the depth of parasociality that oftentimes content creators should be called out more for having against each other, but that's fine. Whatever.
And because it was concocted in such deep collaboration with Somali's people, this deserves to be called out and deserves to be dismissed as what it is, as malicious defamation. So I want to be very clear about this. Everything that we're going to talk about, every allegation this person makes is 100% false. Now,
I ignore routine defamation that's severe. Okay. Immediately coming out within 1 minute and 40 seconds that they're false. This has been on the screen. Remember, the start of it came out very quick with what the fuck we're going to be talking about today. Right? We hit that quick intro.
With facts and objectivity, as we all.
I guess we hit the... sometimes folks will talk about how you would expect to see the repetitiousness or the expedience of someone's reply to certain things. I don't think that's a given, and I don't think it's going to be like... I think you can look at that in a constellation of other things, but I don't think it should like define what you think. But don't mind me. So we've been like immediately shitting on it since the start. Since I know it's a thing, I'm staring at it.
He lies consistently, just like Johnny Somali.
I sometimes have to be a gross simulacrum of what a human might ought to be. Because I, as my one ex said, am feral and unsocialized. It's very mean of her, but whatever.
Johnny Somali will say whatever he says to get out of a situation or to create some story or create some lie. Alex Novell is exactly the same way. They're peas in a pod. And perhaps it's fitting that they spent a lot of time together, I believe weeks together.
Well, Alex had to do that for an interview, so he says, right? Like, yes, Alex could have likely gotten another place to live, but likely bunking with these two does provide a little bit more access to them. I'm more curious about how Alex's redaction or retraction of this is going to go down. And personally, I still think that LM engaging this like this isn't necessarily like going to be the quickest way to resolution of a large group of people doing something.
In Korea, together under the same roof, right? Filming, shooting the shit. And because of that, I think there's a lot of behaviors that cross over there. But he lies to his audience. He lies in his past works. He lied to Somali with Hank, Guys Poseidon, everybody. He lied about the contract. He made everybody sign this contract, which...
Are we playing Nair soon? By the way,
that was which essentially promised nothing. It was a quote unquote Borat contract. He promised people payment, which will never come. So those sort of things he just does out of matter of course. And his position on this, and this is something he said very recently this week, and we made this screenshot, of course, is that me acting that way towards a subject is disarming and not a representation of my actual opinions of the person. So he justifies his lying to people, saying, I can lie to people because, well, that gets them to say what I want. That gets them in the position that I want. And this is the entire thing that I figured out about him early on. And
yeah, me too. I'd realized that he was marketing the same thing that Mr. Barnell had been doing for a while, where he can stand up an infinite wall of foes by accusing them of sex crimes, bashing them, and just picking them at, like, without hominem. Because then, even if you engage, you're just content for him. Like, every time you talk about him, you'll just become content. You can not mention him for 2 years, bring him up in a reasonable context, and welcome back to it. If nothing else, he has a long memory.
Learned about him early on and the exact reason why I turned him down. And ever since I turned him down way back in March, ever since I shot him down, like rejecting a prom date, he never got over that. And because of that, he has come up with all sorts of fictitious stuff for the past couple months, culminating in what is the worst defamation that I've seen, period, and the craziest lies, which we're going to debunk today. But just to go through the record and give you some background, because some of you may not know, this is when he contacted me back in March. And he was saying he was going to film a documentary on Johnny. And I said, hey, listen, I'm not in Korea right now. I was in Thailand. He wanted me to do an in-person interview. I couldn't do that. I said, hey, I'm not going to do a in-person interview. But what I'll do is if you submit me written questions, I will answer them. And I'll do it by video or audio, either one. He did not like that. He threatened me. After I gave this response, he proceeded to threaten me when I just said no. And
it's not about video or audio. It's okay. Sorry.
It's very funny how someone can feel.
Yeah, so, hi, I'm just taking a moment to go over this again. So, you did want to record a whole video, you didn't give a time frame on it, and not about, you have travel to do, you likely have cases to attend to. Written question would be best, as you can give thorough, a thoughtful answer and respond properly. Probably gives you time to do it bit by bit. You'd even be willing to send audio responses to written questions, thanks. It's reasonable. Legal mindset's being accommodating. I don't see how this is considered not being accommodating, right? Like, if you can't meet in person for reasons, you gave an alternative, which is you can even provide audio. If they wanted audio and video, you can give them audio at the very least. And you can address what they've asked. No, that seems reasonable. Like, that does entirely seem like an appropriate response and one that should be further engaged with. If you do not engage beyond this point, you're not working as a team to accomplish something, I would say.
Threatened me when I just said no. And it's very funny how someone can feel entitled to an interview. I
try to say that we're not entitled to influencers' time when there's a like random drama going on and we want them to reply. Like, yeah, we want them to because it will make us feel good. But it's not like we're entitled to their mind or their body. That would be fucking weird. And so just the same with any creator, really. We aren't really entitled to them taking the time out of their day to break shit down for us. Like, we're not, you know, they have shit to do. Some of them have like whole lots of shit to do, right? Like working full-time jobs in addition to this. Like, it's you can't always expect it to happen on your time. And if you need instant gratification, that's silly. Like, if you need an instant response to someone to capitulate to the extent and rigor you want them to, instead of to work with them, then I'd assume you'd cut yourself off quite a lot. That said, like, I wonder, right? I wonder if there was any more conversation after this.
Oh, this individual or any individual on the internet, nothing.
That's a bit small for a phone screen.
I don't have to give my work and my time away for free, not a second of my time.
Oh, it could be on a browser, huh? I don't know how to use a browser. I don't use X. I use it, and occasionally I send silly things to people, but that's about it. I read things, I send silly things. I don't want to talk.
I am asked for interviews all the time. I have people that want to come on my channel and people that ask me to come on their channels. I rarely do interviews because my time is.
Oh, by the way, this man. How do I want to phrase this? He tentatively agreed to playing video games with us. I'm going to bully everyone into coming together and playing games and just having a nice, wholesome time.
So limited.
And he seems to want the same, so that's kind of good.
And unless someone is willing to compensate me for.
And moreover, I'm going to try to convince people to game with me offline.
For that time, I'm sorry, I'm just not willing to do that. But there was no offer of compensation.
I feel if there's more people that make content around that tell me to get the fuck offline and just play games with the boys more often, that I'll probably have more time to think of interesting things to bring us. I don't know. I need more chaos in my life. I need chaos.
Not that I would have believed him in the first place because he's lied to everybody else. But beyond that, I discovered when I did a bit of research on this dude that he is a bad faith actor, that he is someone.
Now, don't forget, chat, the phrase bad faith is a red flag to me. Also, the phrase good faith is also a red flag to me. I'm just being transparent, so y'all know if I start acting all on edge.
Who lies to everyone and then tries to get him with gotcha questions, things we've seen in the mainstream media, things we see all the time where people will try to get you to do a gotcha question in a long 1-hour interview and then clip out the one gotcha question to put into their final piece. And that's
yeah, we've seen how they did Mrs. Klein on that man on the street interview done by Mr. Dude Man Pants with the face and the cameras and the camera phone in the face.
That's not what I was going to have with him, and that's not what I was going to allow. He didn't like that, so he proceeded to threaten me. And ever since then,
yeah, this is some instant gratification needing shit type, though. Like, that's, you know. It's like you need to engage past it. So I don't know if there's more context.
Praised about going after me. And
Mr. Pants and Face Man.
We've got the receipts for that. So
it is a crew of people. It's not like it's the one person. They do have like assistants as they go out there. They're not only schlepping it by themselves. So it's good to see people supporting each other. That's important.
He always says, and this is one of the funniest things, that he's not trying to jump to conclusions or not trying to put a tinfoil hat.
That's why we should critically look at everything and just identify top-down versus bottom-up logic when we come through to stuff. Also, so we're clear, legal mindset did lead with top-down. We have a conclusion. We're waiting for the supporting structure of it. Does it have any strata? We've heard it's not true. We've heard some words. Now let's keep on listening.
But we're going to show that
because we're 6 minutes deep. And so far, we're just like quickly making a statement, bringing up a person's behavior, and that's fine if it presents a story, but we're just taking notes so we can analyze and dissect the presentation later too, okay? Cool
everything that this guy
because I like doing that. It gives me something to do sometimes.
brings up is the craziest tinfoil hat of all, even within his own narrative, which is all false. His narrative is complete BS, but his own BS narrative doesn't even make sense. So not only is it false, which we're going to show, we'll prove, but it doesn't even make sense within its own internal logic. Its own internal logic doesn't even make sense, not to mean that it's all false. So that's what we're going to show today. So first of all, so not only is it false, which we're going to show, we'll prove, but it doesn't even make sense within its own internal logic. Its own internal logic doesn't even make sense, not to mean that it's all false. So that's what we're going to show today. So first of all,
so some of his reasoning may be useful, but this logic is faulty. Sorry. You can have what the fuck?
Even within his own narrative, which is all false. His narrative is complete BS.
Yeah, so even in a delusion of your own construction.
But his own BS narrative.
You may articulate it and communicate it to others in ways that
doesn't even make sense.
Incongruent with what is possible. Or possible within the constraints of the narrative. It's not like this part matters. It'll be presented, I'm sure.
So curious. Not only is it false.
I had to literally unpack the phrasing, okay? Just don't mind me. I'm an old broad. Sometimes my ears don't work that good. I'm an old lady. My ears don't work that good sometimes. Fuck off. Get off my lawn.
We're going to show, we'll prove. But it doesn't even make sense within its own internal logic. Its own internal logic doesn't even make sense, not to mean that it's all false. So that's what we're going to show today. So first of all, this is
when applied to the extent and rigor what is presented from the person, it seems that it doesn't shake out. Okay, I'm following.
He was back here asking about me.
You have to regurgitate things, right? You have to both take it in, but also be able to like regurgitate the same information that you took in a different way, possibly phrased differently, so you can actually try to work towards clarity and also mull it around internally. Like, thinkies.
Back in April, here's him talking about documents, saying some of these, I believe, are traffic related. So he's accusing me of trafficking, that is human trafficking. Back in April.
I have a brothels and piker tab. In case you were curious, we have a brothels and piker tab. Here. Apparently, I still need to like search this more, right? I have to find the BCE verdict still, but this links to like, hold on. It does stuff. Hold on. I can probably get it from this. It just needs to not go through the archive. Okay, hold on. Give me a sec. Anyways. And then there's this, and well, this man turns out to like be a good reference for this. I can accept the well of him has probably been poisoned to me, but I can accept that and move on.
With no proof before he submitted any Freedom of Information Act request, nothing. It says, but there's one that's criminal and none for 2023. So he's accusing me of being a criminal in April before he's received any information on me. Now, spoiler alert, he will receive information that proves, and as others have seen and looked at, and I will prove, that there is no criminal background, that I have zero criminal background. In fact, the only things on my record are my victim reports, where I was a victim of a car break-in. That's the only thing there is on all the records that this guy pulled, or all the records out there, which is pretty
I do remember that part being presented to us. Yep. That in the beginning, all we were given is the correlating information was like there was a car break-in, and then someone says that they found inappropriate material such as pornography featuring children. This is their statement. We have not seen it shake out. In regards to this, and if memory serves, they didn't have the victim to speak out. They instead had someone else give a story, and that person has, to my understanding, been proven to be less than trustworthy to both Alex Novell as well as Legal Mindset. So it seems as though that's an understandable place for them, for these grown-ass dudes, to be in a really inappropriate place, you know? Like, it makes sense how you got here. You shouldn't have got here, but we're here now.
Insane. But you see here that even back then in April, he was looking into me and looking into things. And this contradicts his own narrative. You're going to see why. Here he is in the highest level chat. Now, those that are aware of the Somali coverage, you know, the Somali intelligence agency, that is the highest level of the pirate gang of the Somali followers. And these people, this chat has several fake legal mindset accounts. They've been trying to dox me and do nasty fake stuff on me for the last 5-6 months. That has been a really pain in my butt.
Hold on. I got the link that was being like all erasured out of it. So I found there's a thing we can do, right? This is going to be very silly, but I happen to know that Google dorking don't always work. But you know what might? Other search engines, like putting it through Bing and Brave and seeing what happens. Anywho, since I said I was going to try to better substantiate this, and the initial article that it references isn't like a court order that I can find, maybe it is, I can better try to look. It's not my field of expertise, but you know what? Nor is breathing. So whatever, I don't care.
But we've taken care of that. We've handled all that stuff. Or just I ignore it. And you've got Somali in here under his 2 accounts, Somali Epstein, Somali Diddy, right? And one of these fake legal mindset accounts is him.
I was closing tabs and it was a thing that passed my eyes and I was trying to quickly dig it up before I like let that get out of my clipboard.
As well. And he's digging on information on me in May with the pirates. Mind you, these guys at the very same time are working on the doxing of various people. They're attacking Bong Bong, the female Korean streamer, creating deepfakes of them, deepfakes of Jung.
And deepfakes or AI-generated pornographic or explicit material of anyone, I really do think should be entirely punishable. The States is working on a framework for it. I like Korea's as well. There's like a mandatory, like, there's not minimum sentences, but there's maximum sentences rather. So I'm gleeful for it. It seems like a very, very serious crime that is taken very seriously. So you'd hope that it is going to keep them away from the computer for a long time. Shout out to Papa Gut, who keeps fucking making AI of fucking Mr. Diorio kissing random people and also other people kissing random people. I hope he's done with that, because I haven't seen that in months. But holy fuck, do I hope that the fucking law bans everyone from doing that shit. Holy fuck.
Doing all sorts of nasty things, creating all sorts of fake information on people at the same time, and he is in there collaborating. In fact, we're going to show that he is in fact...
Like, I'm just here for the fucking erasure of that from the populace.
Collaborating to...
Let's just cognito hazard it out of here.
To this day, with the Somali Discord, threatening to dox people, threatening to expose people. He's been in that community, in that group, tight as thieves with these people since months ago, and remains there to this day, which is pretty insane for someone who claims to be objectively covering this. The other thing is he submitted this report here. This is a Freedom of Information Act request related to me. He tried to submit this on April 6, 2025. So this day is very, very, very important because Mr. Alex Novell claims, oh, I just started looking into you just recently. Oh, just.
Okay, April 6th. Okay.
Out in June 20th. I just started looking at you. No. He's had this hate boner for me going since April.
Oh, it does say a name of a requester. And Florida does make a lot of records really accessible. Florida man.
April, late March. He's been coming after me, trying to get me ever since I turned him down. The second I turned him down, he flipped on me. But that's not his story. In fact, he tries to pretend that this was something that came up more recently. Let's watch the documentary and the proof from his own documentary where he lies. Once again, hello, fellow internet dwellers. If someone is lying against you like this, just consider something with me. If you engage them, is it going to be on your platform? If you are being genuinely lied about on your platform, if you're being genuinely lied about, and then you come to your chat and you're like, and your comment section, and you're like, hey, look at this hate boner against me, it's unsubstantiated. Some people are still going to take that as edict, and you're the one that just perpetuates it. So we're kind of also assessing, well, not kind of, we are also trying to assess how the response to this goes. I guess there's an easy way, right? Newish first. And it just so came out of nowhere in the video. I mean, it's getting conflated with the like passport bro shit, I bet. And honestly, you know what? I'm still not sure if that man is playing up to try to like take the coffers out of like
Some people do play up the fucking like, here, the end goal is sex to get engagement, you know? Only waifu, I feel like, is also one who might do this occasionally. And you know what?
Starts out talking about me lying, right? Let's listen to this clip. So before I could even start
to look into who
I still haven't combed through all of it.
legal mindset is, I got this phone call.
So let's pause right there. So he said,
I highly doubt I'll be combing through all of it manually. I'm fairly sure robots can do it.
as before I could start looking into me, I got this phone call. What date is the phone call? Let's enhance this a little bit here. 6/20/2025.
Yeah, immediately within the same time frame, what, 5 days after he'd already filed something, he's now attesting that he's like just met you. Okay.
So this guy claims, oh, I didn't start looking into you till 6/20/2025. Well, according to your own records, which you show, that is a lie. That is a ball.
Yeah. Oh no, this is the 6th. April 6th.
Face
Okay.
lie right here, April 6th, 2025, and even digging before that, April 1st, etc. So once again, his own documents, the stuff he brought up himself, just proves that he is indeed.
I mean, if nothing else, it shows that he's directly deceitful when engaging with you and less than genuine, rather. He brings to bear things that, let me correct that. He brings to bear things that are not in line with the truth. We are not sure why. Did this man have someone file it for him? Is he going to say he's forgetful? How does he respond? I'm curious. I can't wait to see.
Liar. And he's got this friend or foe mentality. You're either with him or you're against him. So he tries to be buddy.
Oh, I hate when that happens with people. Y'all, if people are ever mad that you are friendly with another person, just don't keep them in your life. Don't talk to them. Ghost that person. That's the person you gotta ghost.
Buddy with you at first, and then as soon as you turn on,
that's the one condition I will like say you should ghost people.
He's your worst enemy. He tries to dox you, threaten you. He's done this with several people, and we have him doing this even recently in the Discord servers with people that he views are giving a contrary opinion. So anybody goes against him, he immediately flips on them. And as soon as you cross them, he makes threats. He comes after you, and that's just what happens.
So are you alluding to this being another instance of the bad Emma Panda naughtas?
For the past 6 months, he's been working with Somali to dox people, to expose people, to try to come.
Who doesn't want a fried fucking dumpling?
Come after me, dig up information. That has been his
What?
MO.
Like, why? Why not?
And you can see here, this is proof of that.
Mr. Netherlands, watch out, I'll dox you. And then I'll tweet it along with all his other info. I mean, for one, the website will get DMCA. You're a they, them, I thought. You're a they, them, I thought. 3 documentaries in a year. Lol. The guy who did Boogie 2988 doc has been working on the EDP 445 doc for 2 years now. Go call him lazy. Lucid can totally try. Wait, Lucid can totally try. I can just get their name and info. If they are if they are a registrant to the website it's posted on, it's easier than you think. I mean, you can try to call the ISP and get in, or not the ISP, the data center, or the name registrar that's hosting them, but you presume they're also going to sit behind Cloudflare. And also, people can pay for domain privacy. So you would have to like now start scouring a multitude of hosts and registrars, some of which don't want to talk to you, and some of which have better security policies than what they should do to attest to that. In the Whois system, you can pay for domain privacy, and it's like not that expensive, and that's even a historic thing. And if that's if the domain's old, right? Now the same data isn't perpetuated in that, and you oftentimes get routed to like appropriate parties, like, you know, who actually owns the IP address assignment or what data center it's in, so they can process requests, because like we don't trust people. So, anywho's, like, this info wouldn't be on the domain registration to such an extent as this person's inferring, right? That's a weird statement to go on. And again, like, you don't need domain privacy even. Like, you don't have to, like, it's just a feature now.
Doxing, right? So this happened just this week, literally just this week, where he says, Mr. Netherlands, watch out, I'll dox you too. This is in the Discord. Now, I will say real quick, just for the record, some Discord records show up differently because some are on mobile, some are on web, and the presentation dox you and expose you. Do this. Well, he appears to hold some extreme political beliefs. I think he thinks I'm some sort of political opponent of his, even though I've tried to be, at least for the last year, apolitical and analyze things objectively.
Yes. However, I still have my favorite meme. So thank you.
On the news, learn something and have fun? And can you handle raw, unfiltered commentary? Then welcome home. If you're easily offended, if you're one of those snowflakes, this is not the channel for you. But if you can handle the most based, unplugged, and red-pilled takes,
like, if you actually engage with his content, you'll quickly find out that he's more of a person forming a bridge, which is an appropriate thing to do to, like, get people to come to a degree of understanding with each other, as opposed to, like, a dude who seems to actually be, like, directly doing anything that is galvanizing at the moment, at least. So, like, I don't know. I'm just a looky bitch, just staring at the world, being all, like... Dude, is this when I just, like, insult myself and I'm like... Touch grass, bitch. Anywho's. Hi. I occasionally put things on Twitter. I don't do it often. I don't do it a lot. One of the first things you learn in a good teacher education program is to always... Oh, brother. Why are the levels on this garbage? Why is this shit garbage boo-boo? Fuck it, just play. So if a kid treat students where they are when they come in is what he gets at, but I'm gonna fix this audio first. These levels are abysmal. Compress that shit to fuck, bro. Let's go. We fucking... One of the first things you learn in a good teacher education program is to always start where the student is at. So if a kid comes into my science... One of the first things you learn in a good teacher education program is to always start where the student is at. So if a kid comes into my science class and says, climate change is a Chinese hoax, and I respond, no, climate change is the greatest existential threat our species has ever faced, and the idea that it's a Chinese hoax is racist corporate propaganda. That's very unlikely to change the kid's mind, especially if they come from an environment where that belief is normal and they just met me. So all I'm likely to do is alienate that kid and make it harder for them to ever learn or grow. In fact, I'm likely backing them into a corner where they will identify with their misconception. Like, the goal is to get people away from being ideologically bound in a way that doesn't get supported by reason and that is against the kindness towards others, I presume. I'm being a bit, like, editorializing with that last one, kindness, but, you know, eat my asshole. Fucker. Anywho's. More strongly, because now I've made it an identity issue, me versus you. I'm hurting them in my righteousness. So as an educator... And when people say be humble... I do something called scaffolding, where I create steps that support the kid in getting from where they're at to reality. And the first step that I would likely lay out for a kid in that situation might sound, on its own, like a very poor or incomplete understanding of climate change. Like I might say, yeah, a lot of people get really emotional about climate change, and there is more consistency in climates than most people think. Both those statements are true, and I know that the kid will hear them through their lens and interpret my words as more aligned with their statement than I actually am. But I'm creating the first layer of a scaffold where the kid can hopefully take a step back from the emphasis on racist denial and maybe look at the facts that it's an emotional topic and the climate stability over time can be measured and considered. I'm not trying to wholly resolve the kid's worldview in one conversation. That's totally impossible, especially if we don't have any pre-existing relationships. So really the only choices I have are distancing and harming them by taking an extreme position I know they disagree. This is why I sometimes say hold your cult deprogramming handbook. You'll learn that the most appropriate way to get someone to grow in the way that you would like to see them grow, that you qualify as growth, is to talk with them even if they disagree and grow together. Like, anything shy of that isn't going to do shit. Agree with, ignoring it, or saying something that might strategically give them a pathway forward over time. The same exact thing applies to men's work. There's a lot of guys with really bizarre and deeply wounded worldviews out there, ranging from the red pill incel alphas who think they need to dominate people to the feminist guys who've turned their critiques of patriarchy on themselves as crippling self-hatred and self-dehumanization, which creates equally massive blocks to meaningful growth. Perhaps foolishly, a lot of us who focus on masculinity's work, including myself, want to help all these guys. And one-on-one, I feel like I'm pretty competent at it most days. I'm good at identifying where guys are at, and I'm deeply non-judgmental and loving, which I think a lot more guys need than many of us think. But in popular education... See, I'm in the wrong tab stack. I can just move it over. It's on point for this. Like, it's what we're whinging about, I suppose. So I guess it goes here. Anywho's. Like, when he says this...
On the news, one of those
it's
flakes.
still cracked up.
This is not.
Sorry. It was really compressed.
If you're easily offended, if you're one of those snowflakes, this is not the channel for you. But if you can handle the most based, unplugged, and red-pilled takes on the news, welcome home. Make sure.
I feel like that's clickbait. Because I engage with a person's content when I'm curious. Come
like
up
these
again.
videos, it gets super tricky, because just like how my statement creating a scaffold for someone with serious misconceptions about climate change would sound problematically uninformed or incomplete out of context, many of the things that would actually create effective pathways towards healing for guys in the red pill community sound problematically uninformed or incomplete from a more holistic or intersectional analysis. So in the public-facing work, conscientious content creators focusing on masculinity's work face this bizarre devil's bargain. I feel like I can either be an ally or look like an ally. We all face this tension in different ways. Public masculinity's work may put it under a spotlight, but every conversation we have, even in private, we face this same challenge, and our insecurities will always push us to prioritize feeling validated and justified in our allyship over the much less righteous work of actually helping wounded people heal. And especially for those of us with more privilege, if we let our insecurities dictate our behavior and prioritize looking like an ally, then we're yet again leaving the work of dealing with wounded people to the most marginalized and impacted people in the community. So, like, if I just yell at my racist uncle who says some dumb stuff, that may feel good for me, but it doesn't actually help the next person of color he encounters. So it's not actual allyship, even if my ego thinks that it is. For public content creators, this does get tricky in other ways, though, because a bunch of people with well-developed analysis have come to expect a certain standard of thought, like,
Can you see why this is one of the few things I bother putting on fucking X?
from me,
Period.
and some, for better or worse, have an emotional attachment to my meeting that standard. So if I make videos that appear to fail their standard of analysis, even if those videos are strategically part of a praxis thoroughly aligned with their analysis, they feel hurt and betrayed, and I can totally understand why. Beyond that, this app always creates incomplete dialogues by its nature. So someone may catch one of my videos that I made addressing one particular element of the wounds of masculinity or whiteness or whatever, and inaccurately extrapolate a whole worldview of mine from that video in a way that's totally understandable and totally wrong. So if you see videos of mine where I'm either saying something that feels weirdly elementary for your analysis or just makes no sense or you disagree with entirely, I'd ask that you bear this in mind. This is a short-form, popular education format, and I'm working to create pathways towards healing from multiple types of wounds. I don't conscientiously say things that I don't mean, but the tone and emphasis will be different depending on the type of woundedness I'm speaking to. I end up trying to strike a balance, and I see myself as part of a collective conversation in which I deeply value voices very different than my own. I really appreciate people speaking to men in very different ways than I do, and I see many of them as allies in this work, even when I don't always agree. And this gets tricky, because there are times when I think that creators who I deeply disagree with might be really healthy steps for particular men at particular times. Like, I think Jordan Peterson is an extremely dangerous, ungrounded, misguided, scientifically illiterate, wounded person. But if a particular man is using Peterson's work as a step away from people who are just proud, open abusers and misogynists like Andrew Tate, I see value in that as scaffolding on a particular healing journey. But if you reduce that down to, Jack thinks Jordan Peterson's work has value, that statement is misleading to the point of being a lie. Anyway, my point is that I have no interest in just preaching to the choir, and I'm trying to not cause more harm than is necessary in creating pathways towards healing for the people who need it the most. I'm guaranteed to slip up. Feel free to stick around for the ride or not.
See, that's the kind of vibe I got from his content, inclusive of the Go East Gentleman content. I think that it's an attempt at something that might be more in line with that, especially if you follow the progression of it as he's like matured as a person on the internet, I guess is the way to phrase it. I don't know. I'm going to phrase it that way. Fuck you. I'm doing it.
Actively, but he doesn't see things that way. He's pretty obsessed. He's also clearly trying to get Hassan clout. And we're going to show that in a second, where I've got screenshots of who he tags and what he tags in the videos. But he's trying to get Senpai to notice him, Senpai Hassan to notice him very, very clearly. And he's mad that I turned him down without fear, that I said no to him. I'm not going to interview with him. And he needed me for his Somali fan film. But I knew he was a bad faith actor. I told people not to associate with him. Now, everyone is free to associate as they want to associate. But that said, he's a bad faith actor. I called it out, and it just is proving itself to this day. I was entirely right about that, about this guy, and sensing him out from the beginning, because as a lawyer, particularly, I know how to sniff out snakes, and this guy was a snake in the grass from the beginning. And I do not want to deal or work with anybody who is not honest and transparent. If I feel like anybody is not moving with honesty and transparency, I will not work with them. I won't interview with them. I won't interact with them, period. And that's my personal code, and no one can force me to break that. No matter how much they come after me, I'm still not going to give them what they want. So he's actively chasing Hassan affiliated haters to try to get clout. You can see this. He immediately pinned this Empanada dude. I don't know who the hell this guy is, but I know he's Hassan affiliated. I don't watch him or whatever else, but he's Hassan affiliated here. So he's trying to chase that clout. And you can also see that in his tags where he tags Hassan Abi in literally the video tag. So he's trying to clout chase off that. He's trying to clout jack off of that. Now, a funny thing is he doesn't even get his facts straight. For someone that is this serious documentarian, he is so obsessed with me. And I live so rent-free in this guy's head. He hates me so much that when he thinks Vitaly, he thought Vitaly was in Thailand. Well, bro, I hate to say, but it's the wrong country, bro. Vitaly is in the Philippines. The Philippines is not Thailand. It's a different country. I know it's all the same to you because, you gotta a tough time understanding facts, but Vitaly is not in Thailand. So let's talk about the call. Now, this is the main quote unquote evidence that he brings out against me. Now, he alleges this to come out of nowhere, right? And it's because my phone number is out on the internet. It is so wild. And there's so much tinfoil to believe that
it is a fire hose of information. I tried to sway away from calling them in general immediately falsehoods and just focusing on how you can get, did I talk to y'all about the human buffer overflow in recent history in the last 10 billion years? Okay, I'll get it. I got you. Hold on. I'm gonna slam these two together because I think that's a very concise way to get my fucking point across. Oh my gosh, there's so many tabs. Anywho's, Brower homepage. Thank you. What the fuck did I say 10 seconds ago? Fuck. Do I have to go watch 10 seconds ago me to remember what the fuck I was saying? God damn it. Hold on. The fuck did I just say?
Somebody that I would have known a decade ago is following
I'm annoyed at myself. What the fuck did I just say? What the fuck was I gonna go look for is the thing. Not just what was I gonna say in general. It's what was I gonna go look for? Because I got my hopes up real quick and I got excited and my brain broke. What the fuck was I gonna go look?
Chase off that. He's trying to clout jack off of that. Now,
I got too excited.
Funny thing is, he doesn't even get his facts straight. For someone that is this serious documentarian, he is so upset. Thought Vitaly was the Philippines is not Thailand. It's a different country. I know it's all the same to you because you gotta a tough time understanding facts. Fuck. But Vitaly is not in Thailand. So let's talk about the call. Now, this is.
Did I say it out loud? Focusing on how you can get did I them in general immediately falsehoods and just focusing on how you can get nation? Okay. It is a fire hose of information. I tried to sway away from calling them in general. What nomenclature do I use to find immediately falsehoods and just focusing on how you can get did I talk to y'all about the human buffer overflow? Perfect, sorry. That was gonna slip my mind for 10 fucking years. Sorry. I'm not sorry. It's a way to refer to something from old InfoSec. Okay? This is ancient shit. It's like a buffer overflow, but with people. Instead of doing with code, you do it to people by overloading them with information more so than data to go off of that might be actionable and something with substance. You just give them a lot to look at. And now they might have to. It works a little bit like this. Not exactly. Imagine that this is a fixation on the structure of it and how one can structure their arguments, and as opposed to this, which is how a distribution of a wide swath of information, especially emotionally hefty information, can entirely break a person.
Social engineering.
How long is this segment?
So I started to look at different types of information or brain overload. And the first was information overload. This is easily defined. We all get this, right? You ever been at work or at home and you have your laptop out, the TV's on, you got your iPad or tablet next to you, and maybe there's some music going, and there's
Chris Hadnagy,
all these different sensory things coming into you, and it's information overload. It's so much. They now have studies done that talk about people who sleep with their laptop next to their bed, or their phone next to their bed, or their tablet next to their bed, and that light actually continually transmits not information, but signals into the brain. The light makes you not sleep well. The LEDs from monitors and devices make us sleep bad.
I'm trying to get a read for if they're about to dive into what I need them to.
So this is information overload. The results are frustration, tiredness, stress, anxiety, and is it conducive to social engineering? Tell me, what do you think?
And what is social engineering? It is convincing someone of something that may or may not be in their best interest, right? May or may not be. You can social engineer a bitch to brush their teeth. You can also social engineer someone to give you all of their coffers and leave themselves destitute. I implore you to not be a dickhead.
Okay, so if someone's frustrated, tired, stressed, and anxious, we may be able to cause, from that information overload, some type of code to run that shouldn't be running normally. It happens to us all the time. How many times when you're stressed, you make really bad decisions? We do it, right? Okay, but when looking at that, for me now, as a professional social engineer, not malicious, I'm not malicious, right? Regardless of what Dave says about me. I don't like to do this type of social engineering because it leaves people feeling bad for having met me. So it's not a very positive effect once you're done with the gig. And then
this is one of the reasons why I just can't bring my heart to red team people.
A lot of emotional stimuli that's triggered by what we see.
There we go.
My wife's just like this. She has to touch everything. Touching everything in the store before she can buy it. She's actually returned clothes she bought online because they didn't feel right. Not because they didn't fit right, they didn't feel right, okay? So this is a very big sense. Most of us are visuals. We can have a lot of emotional stimuli that's triggered by what we see.
If I were to make the worst joke that does not have any bearing on the Hadnagys, I would say, for the rest of you, now this is why you need to find yourself a nice autistic woman who likes to work hard and will shut people up.
I had an interview with Neil Fallon. Anyone know the band Clutch? Clutch?
Yes.
Don't they? They're awesome.
Neil said that 00111 10101 periodic table.
When he gets in the
Man alive. Oh my gosh.
Show mood.
Yes.
What he does is he has a shirt.
Fucking love Clutch.
This is going to sound really vile. He doesn't wash.
Man alive, the jivin' lyrics. God damn.
He smells it, and it puts him in show mood. I don't know what show mood is.
It's disgusting.
I don't know if I want to ever know what show mood is, but I'm assuming it's preparing his brain for being on stage because he's not really like an extrovert. That's what happens, and the red flag comes up on the affect how we make the other
I think this one ends with an example.
person feel. Like, for example, this is
I think he's doing it to the audience as well. I seem to have that impression that I think
extreme grief over here. This is extreme grief. This is someone who's feeling a little bit blue, and this is someone who's sad and crying. Now, if you walk into your engagement and you're showing extreme grief, what may be the effect on the target? I walk in with my USB key and I'm like, oh God, please put this in your big sadness face, and the dog's like, are helping, right? What's her face? I hate this commercial. Freaking showing like these like beaten, disabled dogs and stuff, and like music is sad, and she comes on the screen and she's like near tears with her big sadness face, and the dog's like limping out, help me, and you're like, oh, here's my money, and then this is modern marketing. They're using these emotional contents to get our emotions triggered, so we take the action of donating money. Okay, this is just a marketing example. Let me give you an example of how we use. Can I have time? How many time? Okay, I got enough time to go overtime while telling you this story. So we had a goal. We had a goal that we had this company, and they wanted us to get a USB key and insert
I have timestamps to keep together.
it into a computer. It was their policy. It was
I got to link to stuff and describe what it is and make chapter names.
was their logic. They did not want USB keys, and we had tried everything: dropping them in the parking lot, putting them in the lobby, putting them like right next to people's cars. And people, I don't know what was going on with them. They just weren't putting them in. It was like the most policy-following company I've ever worked with since then, ever too. We were failing miserably. And we had labeled inside folders everything: employee bonuses, salaries for next year, wife picks, accounting data. I mean, we tried everything that we could possibly try that works on every normal human, and for some reason this company wasn't working. So I went to the company and I pull up in my car, and I have a suit and tie on, and I have a folder that says resumes, and I have a bunch of resumes in there. And I pull it out and I dump my coffee all over the resumes. And then I walk into the front door with my dripping folder of resumes, and I'm doing the sadness, and the woman there, she says, oh, honey, what happened to you? And I quickly walk up to her desk and lean on her desk, and I see that she has a picture, two little girls with like a little ball and a little cat on her desk. So I'm like, okay, she likes cats, so has a cat. So I said, I was driving down the road here coming for an interview. I was supposed to be in the interview in like 10 minutes, and a cat ran out in front of me. And, I just love cats. I love cats. They're like my favorite animals on earth. And usually I'm like speeding up when I see a cat, but I love cats. And
Motherfucker has amazing delivery, by the way. Like, you can call it a little bit abrupt, but that timing was on fucking point. No fucking shame in that.
I didn't want to kill it, so I slammed on my brake, and my coffee fell out of my hand and went all over my car, and it soaked my last resumes. And I've been out of work for 4 months, and I really need this job. Please, I don't even know what to do. And she's like, oh, well, what can I do to help you? And I said, I have this USB key with my resumes on it. And I'm just wondering if you'd be able to print me out one copy for this interview, and then I'll go to a shop and I'll get others. And she said, sure, honey, give it to me. So on there I have two, files. One said resume 2014 and one said resume 2013. That way, the 14 was the malicious one, 13 was backup. So she clicks the 14, Word crashes, I get a text message, shell. Awesome. And then she says, I can't get it to open. And I'm like, oh, is there another one in there? I think I have an older version. That will work for this. So she prints it. Bam, I get a good copy of a resume. And then she's like, what time is your appointment? I look at my phone and I say, oh, it's with Mrs. Smith at 11 o'clock. And she says, Mrs. Smith, 11 o'clock? What company are you interviewing with? And I said, oh, with ABC Company. And I was in my right target, but I was saying something different. And she says, oh, you're having a bad day, honey. Your ABC company's next door. This is XYZ. And I'm like, oh, I'm so stupid. I'll go over there now. That was supposed to be my egress. Well, this is what happens when you do this too well. She takes me by the hand. I'm going to bring you to Mrs. Smith right now. And I'm going to tell them that you need this job and you come with me. And she's taking me by the hand and I'm going, oh, crap. Oh, crap. So we're walking over to XYZ and I'm like, do I fall? Do I feign sickness? Do I punch her and run? What do I do?
Okay, sorry. I know that was a long bit of nonsense maybe to you, but to me that was very fucking on point. Why? Because look at how we've been given top-down stuff from literally everyone involved. At the moment, we're still piercing through, and that's fine. But it was started with a very top-down assessment, and I can't be mad at a top-down one for debunking it and engaging it, when if you don't immediately spray off into the conclusion, people may not listen to the whole video and may just listen to what they presume are reasons, which they will assume possibly, if you're unfortunate, or they might conflate your reasonings for why things happen as an excuse for action, and then they might say it's an excuse. So I can see why the preload is like really valid here. I don't know.
Nobody, nothing YouTube channel that's got no views.
I compressed this up still because I had to compress that other dude up.
And somehow decides to call you all out of nowhere. Yeah, no. The Occam's razor, and we're going to...
Well, I mean, technically I did the same thing, but I just asked if he wanted to play games together, and he said yes. So, well, he said maybe. I said tentatively earlier. So, tentatively. There we go. Let's go.
Into Nobel's razor here. But the easiest thing is this was the Somali Discord. Right now, whether or not he knowingly did this with the Somali Discord or unknowingly was a victim of the Somali Discord, who would know? But the Somali Discord is certainly the group that organized this. And he generated this call, as we saw by the date, only after he knew my record was completely clean. So what he had to do was work backwards and try to create a story because he knew I have zero criminal record. My record's completely clean. The only thing is I was a victim. So literally trying to change a victim into a criminal. Insane stuff. And it's a fun fact of that.
But that's oftentimes been done by the group Mr. Piker chooses to entertain with his time. Like, that is, unfortunately, not very obscure. That is well within the modes and means of which they will use to execute a motherfucker's credibility. That's like, at some point, I'm going to get called a Nazi for being critical of him. I know it. I can see it. I can feel it in my bones.
This. Now, while this is not confirmed, it is speculated by one Johnny So Smalley. You can check out his X account.
It doesn't have to be by him. It just has to be in defiance of the logic of which he presents. But, you know.
But he did identify a member of the a female member of the Somali Discord with a history of fake calls. She's mentally ill. She's been seen in videos snorting meth, and she's a little bit of a fascist. She's a little bit of a fascist.
Being mentally ill is okay. That's fine. No one really gives a shit. The snorting, doing drugs on a stream is weird and inappropriate. And, you know, maybe using slurs is like a little bit much. Let's just
who
say.
has done this in the past, created several fake calls to frame people,
I'm sorry to the homies who might be in Germany right now.
libel people, etc. Now, that's not
You can blur it if it makes you happy. Does it make you happy? I'll make you happy. Hold on. Let me make you happy. Do you love me now?
to say it's her. It may not be her, but all it is to say is
It's okay. You can uncover it. You can say that you took a bare minimum effort. They can't put you in the Huskow now. I got you.
there's no verification on who this person is. This person could be anybody, but all we know is, and all I know is, it's completely fake because the facts of this call do not line up with reality at all. Let's
I don't think me blurring this lines up with reality at all either.
talk about that. And by the way, this is the same group. Remember, Somali's Discord is very adept at creating fake stuff. They've created deep fakes all the time. They've created fake calls all the time, fake everything, fake X accounts, fake Discord. They do this all the time. It's just what they do. So, okay, let's get into the facts of the call. So this person decided, this is the transcript here that he tries to drop. So this person who's clearly reading off a script, right? Clearly, because they actually make an error with the age, and the way they read things out is very perfected and very dry. But these facts are all completely wrong. First of all, I like the cocky lawyer part because that's completely not true. Alex Novell doesn't know this, but at that time, I was extremely nerdy, introverted, and engaged. Yes, the entire time for which he...
Okay, so when I was sitting down trying to parse this before work, that part made me smile a lot more. I hate the lack of an affect on my face right now for that one.
alleges.
Even if things crash and fall and burn horribly, it's still like, at least you got the chance to try. So that's always cute and beautiful.
All this stuff you're going to see in 2017. I was engaged. I was engaged to be married. I was completely monogamous. I would believe 100%
High five, monogamy bros. What's up?
that was going to work. Ultimately, and sadly, that did not work. But there's ample proof, of which I can't show publicly because it would expose my ex-significant other. But there's ample stuff related to my wedding, engagement, etc. You know, the paperwork, the
What? Wait, how does that not involve the
contract for the
Never
wedding
mind.
venue, all that sort of stuff. But beyond that, I was nerd. I had an anime podcast, which is still out there with like 0 views. I was doing Game of Thrones cosplay.
Okay, so I've been trying to be less of a shithead to the lovely weebs of the world. So we can go and check out an anime podcast one day if you want.
Going to gaming conventions.
You gotta ask me nicely. And you have to offer me bar none animal crackers. Even though no one can fulfill it, you still have to offer it.
Was a nerd. I was not a cocky lawyer at all, not even close. What they're doing is they're looking at my current personality and inferring that.
Oh, it's so big. I still think it's funny to say that if you're gonna call yourself based in red pilled, at least be harder than a fucking wuss-ass bitch like me.
If you're easily offended, if you're one of those snowflakes, this is not the channel for you. But if you can handle the most
My levels were all dicked up and this wasn't.
based, unplugged, and red-pilled takes on the news, welcome home. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button on your favorite video, and comment. Thank you.
Okay, so the first time that he said that, I immediately popped over to the She1 head VOD and gave it a like. So, did what I was told. I did this like a day ago, so you're telling me to do it now is gonna I'd have to undo it for it to continue.
Thank you. Like button on your favorite video and comment.
I mean, my favorite video might be Cassandra Bankson's, honestly. Like, I just wanted to watch that one next. But I think Cassandra Bankson, good old Cassie Bankson, I'm a skincare nerd. We're like low-key a skincare channel. We just don't tell people. We tell them we're gaming and drama slop. We tell them we're drama slop. We do our gaming. And low-key, we're a fucking skincare fucking channel. Sort of. Not makeup, skincare. All I'll do is bitch about sunscreen and why you should wear it.
I'm quote
And go send you to go read resources to take to your fucking doctor. It's 10 seconds in and out.
unquote cocky now, which I wouldn't say I necessarily am, but inferring that back without knowing who I was at the time at all. But beyond that, this wouldn't make much sense because they're claiming, oh, you met on Tinder. Well, Tinder was 18 plus at age verification as of the year before. So
I mean, like, even if someone were to violate it, because they're, like, ever since I was a kid, we've been getting into adult spaces. So, like, I don't know. Like, even if someone does break in there, like, you can still distance, and there's been nothing further stated. And I don't know if it's proper age gated. I don't use this one. I don't know what the fuck they do. My point being, like, we don't know much, though this statement may not, like, this can be well and true, but the defense of this is like, I was a child and I got access to Second Life, dude. I'm pretty sure I was like 14 back then. And we don't even want to start uncorking that about how a bunch of fucking grown asses decided to try to like.
That would be something logistically that wouldn't simply happen. But let's go beyond that. They say they reported in Gainesville to the cops revenge porn. So that once again, the accusation accusing me of revenge porn, saying they reported it to the cops with links, screenshots, folders, all this stuff. Let me give you a little lesson on sunshine law. Alex Novell filed a Freedom of Information Act request. It's right here. Florida, we have something called sunshine law. And I'm a little bit of an
He's a bit heated.
Expert in that because I represented cities and counties and special districts. In fact, it's on the public record all across of Florida.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I get heated, I start speaking more slowly finally. And when I'm happy, I'm more inclined to like not notice, be too happy, and to speak too quickly. And I think when man is about to like drop some point on, maybe, I don't fucking know. Bro, I was like watching it and glancing at work in the morning. We're basically getting it raw together, except I have a little buffer.
I represented tons of special districts. I talk about Celebration. I talk about Reedy Creek. I talk about Bonnet Creek, all the other ones that I publicly represented for years and years and years and years and years.
Got that human buffer overflow vulnerability locked the fuck down.
And I am a bit of an expert on that. And a bit of an expert on what you have to turn over. And the whole reason why we have the Florida Man meme, for those that don't know, is because Florida has to turn over everything. Mugshots, arrest records, stories, everything. So all these Florida Man stories come out because our sunshine laws.
You feel like everyone would know this with the litany of court and otherwise data we get from Florida. California does some funny online court too, though.
Everything out. So if there was any arrest record, any mugshot, any photo, anything in Florida, it would come out. All of that would come out. So either this didn't happen or it didn't happen. There's no other way around that. There's no, no. That thing is a lie because any interaction with police would generate a police report. In fact, the police report, which Alex Novell later relies upon for my victim statement, because once again, I was robbed, right?
Oh my gosh. I bet mine have had to had to sub for social services, had to check on some overwhelmed autistic woman. It was fine. She offered me food and water and apologized for the inconvenience. That would be so fucking bananas. Holy fuck. I'm gonna ask them. It definitely is. I'm just gonna I want to...
Statement report was actually taken by a bike cop. Now it's taken in first person because it's my report, but it's my report to the cop, and the cop took that information down and processed it, right? So this is just the way Florida rolls. Every interaction.
By the way, shout out to the officers that fill in for social workers. You all are the fucking best. Holy shit. It's not your fucking job, but you still do it. Thank you to fuck for doing that shit, bro. Holy fuck. Now bully people to hire social workers or go do that yourself. There's not enough people in that field.
With police is going to go into the record. It's Florida. Otherwise, it didn't happen. That's why all of our court cases are televised, because we believe in transparency and openness in Florida.
If you want social workers going with officers, you're going to have to accept that in some areas, officers have been filling in for social workers and likely give them a means to actually propel their career in a meaningful fucking fashion. You can reward them for the hard fucking work they've done, and you can give them a better fucking role that better serves them and allows them to better fucking execute upon for the people.
I like it. It's great. Anyways. And that transparency and openness shows that I got nothing on my record. Beyond that, and probably the craziest thing that needs to be talked about here is this crazy what if with this cell phone. So
yeah, that's why I said we were waiting for probably it to if they are on their shit, then okay, we can wait for the fucking police to finish processing it and just sit here on our laurels.
Get into this crazy scenario because this is absolutely the most nuts thing, and it needs to be completely debunked because it's ridiculous. He jumped.
Latency. Is that me? Oh, I lost some frames. God damn it. I'm a fail streamer. I'm sorry.
But what if the cell phone had photos? His allegation is I took this cell phone and somehow filed a police report to have it stolen or otherwise hide it, only for it to be found 4 days later. It makes no sense whatsoever. There is the same what if evidence. There's the same what if evidence to say, what if Alex Novell did 9/11? What if Legal Eagle is the Zodiac killer?
True. What if vegcom is not joking about sapiocide? I'm joking about sapiocide. There's no way in hell the hyperbolic notion of me declaring fucking carte blanche extinction of all sapient creatures on Earth is fucking even close to possible. First off, I wouldn't dare. Secondly, I turned my audio down by how much? I froze. How much was it down by? Oh my shit, that was fucking bananas. It would be like my sapiocide jokes catching the wrong fucking ire. Like, yeah, I'm never gonna fucking take the time to do such a thing. It's entirely disgusting to do. But I play video games and I joke about sapiocide sometimes. Because I'm not gonna rend the world of every sapient thing. That would be rude and inappropriate and disgusting. And also very difficult and physically impossible. And a lot of cognitive load. And I don't want to do it.
Right. What, these things have.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Mother Sphere so I can buddy with her and just chill. And just like when she's going to eradicate all of humanity, I'll just be like, I'll be in the colony with Mother Sphere sitting in space, looking down on the Earth and the fucking Dyson Sphere looking thing. And next thing you know, I'll just be like, Mother Sphere, I got an offer you can't refuse. I'm a Homo sapien, yes, but I will be your best friend. Because the Homo sapiens fight with each other in inappropriate ways. And I need to be fucking rid of this bullshit. Exactly, yeah, totally.
The same level of proof. That is an insane what if, because not only is...
No, that was a bananas what if.
There are no facts behind it,
Mine's
but
bananas.
it makes no sense even internally. If someone wanted to destroy...
I guess you're right. In my context and yours, through your assessment of the analyses, but also mine and saying that Mother Sphere would be buddy-buddy, the only person she was buddy-buddy with is the person who created her, and she might have genocided the rest of the humans, but I also think that it might be some secret lore shit, that it's like actually only the non-cybernetic ones, because she can probably erase their memories.
A cell phone or hide a cell phone, just wipe...
If she can erase their memory, she can wipe their memory of being human or a Homo sapien. Because she did recruit their bodies to just decimate the Homo sapiens, if that's the case.
A cell phone, or you toss it in the Everglades. You go out to Alligator Alcatraz. Not only...
I kept context, did you? Here, I accidentally muted it.
His
Sorry.
allegation is, I took this cell phone and somehow filed a police report to have it stolen or otherwise hide it, only for it to be found 4 days later. It makes no sense whatsoever. There is the same what if evidence. There's the same what if evidence to say, what if Alex Novell did 9/11? What if Legal Eagle is the Zodiac?
Well, don't go saying that. Hassan Piker will thank him because he thinks America deserved it.
Killer, right? What, these things have the same level of proof. That is an insane what if, because not only is there no...
I'm de-escalate shit bitch over here, by the way, so I'm not for like levying violence as a means to things. Like, I guess if you have to literally protect someone's fucking body actively and it is immediately in front of you, that's a different fucking thing for me. But unless you immediately have the direct access to abate harm before it gets worse or ratchets up, then shut the fuck up and sit down.
Facts behind it, but it makes no sense even internally. If someone wanted to destroy a cell phone or hide a cell phone, just wipe the cell phone, or you toss it in the Everglades. You go out to Alligator Alcatraz, you toss it out there. And no one would ever find it. It doesn't even make sense within the story for someone trying to, quote unquote, hide a cell phone. But the reality is that the backpack that was taken from my car and the cell phone were actually my work cell phone, which...
So, called it. He is at least burying... I was pretty sure I hit this part when I was paying attention earlier, but I was still like back and forth, so we're still kind of hitting it kind of raw. But here's the thing. They're just going to say you can't disprove a negative, and they're going to make a content mill out of you if you continue to engage. So I hope that you don't get milked in an inappropriate way.
It was extremely limited and locked down.
The only milking I approve of is the cruelty-free milk of Pegasus. More Pegasus milking everyone for me.
I couldn't do anything with that phone. It was a brick. It was only for my long distance meetings when I would have to drive to cities far across the way in Florida, and I didn't want to use my data or anything else.
Further, depending on the scope of like how the work does do and does do hardware and asset management, there's a strong and solid, I can eat my mic again, finally, I remember to. Anywho's, there's a strong and solid chance, depending on how the company does asset management, that yes, this is both enforced, but also that they would be up anyone's ass, especially when it's something that might involve like lost hardware of a firm. I'm not saying it's a given, but I'd presume if there's a data loss prevention platform there, that would be the most that would be a very reasonable place for it to exist. One where they were likely able to do that remote phone wipe shit too. Because as long as it's not like allowing clients' data to get out there, I think you're like, you'd rather have a brick disseminated to the public than people's data. I don't know. I have no fucking clue. I am not this man. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
So
I'm just trying to like make reason of something and move on.
I would use this work phone. I had this work phone, and those were about maybe once or twice a month.
Make reason of something based on experience otherwise. Like I'm taking a little lateral leap there.
So I really only had this limited use work phone that was pretty completely useless. Even my boss would message me on my personal phone, would text me on my personal phone because they knew I never checked that phone. And my backpack was full of meeting minutes.
Mind you, I actively know people that have a specific work phone and a specific not work phone and treat them respectfully.
Minutes are meetings, government meeting.
And then specific work phone is really jacked up. So
agenda, all the documents, which I would have in digital form as well, so I could read them on my phone.
I know that its prevalence isn't just in lore. I know its prevalence is like both historical in our contemporary time, just a thing people do is what I'm getting at.
But
I pause at the worst facial expressions, don't I?
I would have a physical copy because a lot of people wanted to see I was reading and making notes, and they didn't want me to look at my phone because they thought I might be playing a game or texting or not paying attention. So I would, out of politeness, always have a paper copy and be.
Don't we have a saying about not negotiating with
fully focused on the meeting at the time, taking notes with the paper copies. Of course, they weren't necessary as we had backups. So what happened was, in reality, my car was broken into. I noticed my SunPass was gone, so I reported that and some other minor stuff that was taken.
I'm wondering, like, just random thought, right? When I had to like take notes by hand and then also enter them digitally, it required that I write it down initially, read it, and like regurgitate it on paper, which is a good thing and a good technique to help you remember stuff. Like if you're a fellow hack your own brain person, you might know this. It's like the way you train your brain. It's like you train retention, recall, etc. So I don't know. I wonder if he did that. That'd be interesting.
And I didn't even.
Anyways, y'all should consider such a thing.
I noticed the backpack was gone because, frankly, I didn't care. These meetings didn't happen very often, and I really didn't care about that work phone or the useless paperwork. It was only when it was found 4 days later that I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that got taken. That's fine. 4 days later. I didn't need it at all during that period of time. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't anything that was important. So that what if is absolutely the biggest ridiculousness of all. And it's part of Novell's.
And I mean, you did report it, which you ought to do. So
Razor, what we call Novell's Razor, where he takes this.
Okay, that's a funny name, but that's a. I'm still going with Mott and Bailey. Like, you can call it a Gish Gallop, fine, but that can be like with or without deceit. I think Mott and Bailey hits it a lot more effectively. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hooked on Mott and Bailey. I could be a fucking, look at me, biased towards Mott and Bailey's. I like castles. Oh my gosh, bitches love cannons. Bitches just want cannons and castles. Holy fuck.
Thing
it's
where
true.
I am the victim, I'm the person that was victimized, and changes into me being some 5-star criminal, which is absolutely insane. And it's insane because, well, there's no proof. Not only was he not able to prove.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing I've been whinging about, which is where if someone's going to talk shit and do some foul, like some bullshit nonsense, if it's false, then let them peter themselves out. And it's good to see that someone's trying similar of this. It depends on how, like, if the Novell situation is prone to give more discourse on it or if they're abandoning it. I guess it's like, I say that good old jab them until they're loose. Let them jab out until they're fucking tired. And then you hook them in the face. Fuck it. Just go hard.
Anything.
Not literally, figuratively. Because I call it jabbing and hooks when I'm in like when I'm trying to stagger someone's posture in a game and I'm trying to like catch them at the tip of my sword so I can make them stagger and then push in harder with a thrust attack or something. It's blah blah blah.
But at the end of the day,
you have to forgive me if half my analogies involve Elden Ring and positioning. Sorry.
I've cleared global entry background check. I've cleared multiple
Well, that's a shot at Mr. Piker.
visa background checks, and I'm still licensed in active good standing with the Florida bar. None of these things would be true if I had a speckle of a criminal record or anything where even this was a shade of true, right? It's completely and utterly untrue. So what the real story is here is what Meme Copium says in this response to Alex. He says, so you got to call 9 days before the first screening of the film and claim it was before you could investigate him. You claim he raped a 10-year-old in March. Oh, yeah.
You can directly refer, and we're going to just say it because I'm going to just treat it seriously. So the state person is, you claimed he raped a 10-year-old in March. We're going to be clear and concise and move on.
He did that. He publicly did that. I have that saved. I have that documented. He said I was a human trafficker, and he said I committed SA on a 10-year-old in March with no evidence, nothing else, just pure defamation, pure hanging out with Somali and committing defamation as Somali.
So I was like hanging out with like outside people today, and we talked about like just in vagary. I was like, can you believe people are doing like some stuff on the internet? People wiling out, bruh.
Discord does, which he is still in. And have been a part of the Johnny Somali Discord where they're exposing fake evidence for smear campaigns.
I'd like to think that I'm okay at not overly saturating normies with bullshit about our weird internet shit, but still just being to the fuckball's point.
Sorry, but it looks like you workshopped this fake story to get after the FOA came back with nothing to get Hassan to notice it. That's right. There's nothing for Papa Hassan to notice you and Senpai to give you the attention you wanted for your little fan film.
Well, yeah, he's already been told that he can like, the defamation has a line in Asia, which is more stringent and strict than it is in the States. But he's now likely going to overcorrect because he's now super aware of it and it's on his mind. It's in the zeitgeist. He's already watching his cohorts get hit for both defamation and infringement on IP, trying to fucking be a substitute for somebody's work. Like, it's... I mean, honestly, if only he learns from Frogan and he just, like, chills out, sits there, stops doing wild shit.
So the real timeline is...
and just lets the fucking... the big britches bitches in the courts sort it out. Maybe they can avoid some extra bullshit, you know?
I discovered he's a bad actor. I turn him down. He threatens me, rages online, rages in the Somali Discord. He's accusing me of trafficking an SA live with Somali in March. In April, he asked Somali's inner circle for...
I have a headcanon, and it's not based in anything I've ever read or have any reason to believe. It's just a silly headcanon. What if Frogan's the one that rolled on everyone and that's why she's being, like, well apprised of how to act in the situation? I don't think that's the case. I'm just saying, like, wouldn't that headcanon be bananas?
Help creating dirt on me. He files the Freedom of Information.
Because somebody can still, like, roll on the others and have an easier time. That's totally fine for them to do.
Back requests in April for everywhere I've lived, which, by the way, others that have been trying to work check on this have also filed and said, nope, Andrew's 100%.
And it would be in line with everything that was requested.
100% clean. We can confirm. Only a victim. Late June, he realizes he has nothing, creates a fake narrative before the screening. And June 20th, he creates the defamatory recording, the fake recording. And then June 29th, he screens the fan film. So this is the real timeline that's out there. Now, there is some other defamation he spreads. This is kind of related to it. I want to cover it quickly. He does mention other places that I can't go to the US. This is something my other detractors have said. So I want to dismiss this in kind of one video and then point back to it here for all the people that are haters.
You better play video games with me.
I go to the US often. Here's me at the wedding of Legal Bites with a ton of other big creators that can all confirm I was there. Ian Runkle.
I can say your packets were there.
He's already posted under it. On Civil's posted. Hey, you know, we all saw Andrew. He's real. We know he comes to the US. He's not banned from the US. And this is ridiculous narrative that people try to say, oh, I'm some criminal on the run. I come back to the US every single year. I have global entry. I'm in good standing with the bar.
I was trying to prep something for gaming and my brain is a sieve when I tried to do it.
Absolutely ridiculous. And here's my 2024 flight. 2024 flight. Here's my stream. So I returned to the Philippines. At that point, I was...
It's a pretty headboard. Nice.
Trying.
The lights I'm not the biggest fan of, honestly, but I like the headboard. I'm not a headboard person. I have my bed against a wall. When I was younger, I used to have a mattress bed. Sorry, when I was younger, I used to have a floor bed. About the time that I first learned that I prefer a stool to some weird-ass gamer chair to sit in, but, you know, whatever. I miss my tuffet.
At the Philippines. I was living there in June of 2024. That's my flight. And here I stream from the Alfond Inn in Orlando. So all the A-logs out there can go look up the Alfond Inn and look what it looks like. But I'm streaming from there. I actually mentioned in this one about the Rakeda law case turning. I talk about being
I don't think you want to invite that in because they'll just like start trying to query the hotel, but you know, whatever. You don't know what the headboards are even for? Yeah, same. Like, I'm sure there's a formal reason for them, but I think it looks bougie and unnecessary. If I were offered one, would I install it? Probably not. If I were around a person that wanted one, would I tolerate it? Probably.
in Orlando. And right around this time, I'm also on several podcasts, which can be confirmed, that are in the US. So all of these facts together show, hey, look, I've been in the US recently. I've been in the US in 2021, 22, 23, 24, all of these months. I've got nothing to hide. And beyond that, guys, as we're going to end here, the coverage is not going to stop. What Johnny Somali and Alex Novell want me to do is stop covering Johnny Somali. But this,
well, it seems at the very least, we can presume that that might be a goal of theirs, but it does seem, moreover, to be a little bit more accurate. They do seem to discredit the person who's been critical of you. Of him, rather, possibly in an attempt to like get the court to look at legal mindset differently for citing the work, and also to get other creators to be cautious about citing it. Like that, it seems to be like one of the, you can go against one of the most ardent detractors and see if you can destabilize it, but better not miss.
despite their best effort and their malicious lies,